All right, guys, welcome back. Time to put in the tail shaft and the exhaust. I have gone ahead and cleaned it up, checked it over, checked the bearing, checked, the uni joints, make sure they're all, looking good. There's no play in them and stuff like that, and it looks pretty good. So I went ahead and cleared the bolts. Now it's time to get underneath, put the tail shaft in, then we can put the exhaust on, which I've completely wrapped. If you're just joining me, I did a video on cleaning my exhaust system and re-wrapping it. You can see that video up here. Right now, let's get stuck into putting this tail shaft on. My favorite. Oh! Let's go. All right, guys, tail shaft is on. What I did here was on the bolts, I marked a white line from the nut all the way across, and I did it on all 4 of them. And the reason for that is over time I can check to see if any of the bolts are loosening up. If they move, and if the line moves, then you know it's loosening up. All right, so good trick. Now that we've done that, it's time to do the exhaust. Let's go. All right, guys, tail shaft is in, exhaust is in. I've changed the fan belts. I've put the catch cans in, or one of them for now, and we're going to continue on. I've got to put the radiator in, but before I do that, I want to put the radiator fan on, and then it's just radiator, the shroud, plumb it all up, put the intercooler piping back on, put the intercooler back on, a few other little bits and pieces like the headlights and stuff like that, but then we can essentially wire it up. I bought all the fluids today, so I've got all the fluids. Fill it, bleed it, and start it. So that's the aim. Let's get that happening. Let's go. Guys, one thing I realized, excuse me, one thing I realized when changing the fan belts, the power steering and the alternator belt, what you need to do is here where the clutch fan sits, make sure that's bolted down before you tighten the belt up, because if it's not, it's going to tighten it'll tighten the belt on an angle. So the best thing to do is put the clutch fan on, tighten all the bolts so it's nice and hard up against the block, and then tighten the alternator and stretch the belt. All right, just keep that in mind. Because I just realized that I did it without the fan on and without the bolts tightened. Luckily, I picked it and the actual clutch was sitting on an angle. So I was like, no, okay, got to do it properly. All right, that's all. Next. We are almost there, guys. Almost there. Radiator's in, shrouds in. Look at the clearance that I got from the relocation kit. Like, look how mad that turned out. That turned out sick. I can't wait to finish this. The only thing I've got to do now is put the intercooler piping back on, the intercooler. I want to clean that up first, so that's why it's not on yet. And I've got to do some little bits and pieces like the vacuum lines. I've got to put the lights in. Got to do the wiring for that. But all in all, it is coming together, and I am stoked. Not right now because I'm tired, but I am stoked that it's actually coming together. Like, and I don't mind the blue either. Like, I was thinking about changing the rocker cover color. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet or not, but I don't mind the blue as it is now because it's black and it looks nice. It looks clean, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, tomorrow again, back at it. So stay tuned, guys. See you soon. Peace. All right, we have my intercooler here, we have the piping here, and we have all the clamps and the hoses here. Now I'm replacing these blue hoses with black hosing. I've got 1 meter length and I'm just going to cut it down to size. And I'm going to clean my intercooler piping up. This pipe had chrome on it, and that's all the chrome bits and pieces there. I tried to get as much of it off as possible, just, you know, I scraped it off with a Stanley knife and stuff like that, so to get it down to its bare metal. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with a drill with one of these brushes on it, just to clean it all up as much as I can, and then I'll look at polishing it. For everybody that's been with me through this whole process of redoing my car, you know that these brushes have been lifesavers. These and the wire brushes, they are the best thing. And for those that are just joining me, I've done a whole bunch of videos that you can go back and see on cleaning up my exhaust system, cleaning up my turbo manifold and turbo, using these brushes, cleaning up the underneath of the car and painting it. And, you know, throughout this whole process, I've used these brushes. So I can highly recommend them. I think they're great. And now we're going to attack them with the intercooler. All right, let's go. All right, guys, I think that is more than enough. I cleaned it up, I polished it a little bit, and that's the result. And I'm happy. I'm not too fussed. It is a drift car, like I said before, but at the end of the day, it looks better than what it did before. So, time to put that on the car. Let's do it. Guys, it's done. The engine bay is complete. It has taken so long to do because it was such a tedious job, but the end result is awesome and I'm in love with it, and I hope you guys love it too, all right? The whole process, start to finish, from pulling out the gearbox to, you know, painting the engine bay and doing all that, it has taken quite some time, but you know what? It's worth it in the end. If you take your time with it and you're passionate about it and it's your thing, just do it, and the end result will be, you'll be so happy with it. So without further ado, guys, this is my new engine bay.